Anyways, guys, how's it going, everybody? It's your boy, Bebo Squeeb here. So today, I am bringing you a very interesting video here, which is something that at this point is like almost 300 subscribers late, but let's be honest here, do I sound or look like the kind of person that actually gives a No, I do not. So today, I'm bringing you my 1000 subscriber special, the official one this time, and it is, of course, a Q&A video. I have opened the floor to you guys to ask your burning questions on my community page, on my Twitter account, and of course in my Discord server. Go ahead and go to all those things, shameless plug right at the beginning, because why in the hell not? And of course, I got quite a few good questions, most of which ended up coming from my Discord server, which was to be expected. I'm going to try and answer as many of them as I possibly can, going in ascending order of how many questions I got on each platform. So of course, we're going to be starting off here with Twitter, where I have an amazing individual that goes by the name of Insanity asking me, are you actually sane? I don't know, man. Take a look at my long catalog of videos and see if I've ever kept any semblance of my sanity throughout my entire time on YouTube. I will wait, because even I'm wondering where it is. Okay, and that's it for questions on Twitter. So now we're just moving on to the YouTube community page. So first we have Storm69 here asking, my question. Why? I don't know, man. Wait, aren't you the same guy that made that silly song that you created? Good stuff, keep it up. The next question here comes from Athixer. I don't know who they actually are outside of this particular name, but they ask, what's your favorite From Software game? Well, considering that so far I've really only played Elden Ring, I don't really have a particular answer for that one, but I guess in terms of visuals, it's kind of a weird tie between Sekiro and Elden Ring, funnily enough, but from what I've heard in terms of like solid gameplay, it's Bloodborne, but unfortunately, well, my PlayStation 3 crapped out, so I can't even fucking play it to begin with, and the odds of a Bloodborne port coming to PC are about the same odds as me getting struck by lightning and then winning the lottery within the next 5 seconds. But of course, if I ever get the opportunity to play some more From Software games, you know, maybe I'll touch Dark Souls 3 at some point, maybe I'll have a bit more of a solid opinion, but I'm mainly just going off of appearances and from what I've heard from within the Souls community, so again, take all of that for what you will. This guy has a ton of questions for me, and I'll try to answer them as to the best of my ability here. So, the Master of Gaming asks me, do you like Slayercoon? I don't know who that is. Do you like Jim Sterling? Not anymore. They used to at least be somewhat well respected. I'll probably get more into it because someone asks their own question regarding my opinions on Jim Sterling later on, so I'll get more into that later on, but just know that I'm not really that much of a fan of him anymore. Do you like Lex? Again, I don't know who that is. Who's better, Tarragon or Quantum TV? In terms of an actual decent human being and not a waste of oxygen, I'd have to give it to Tarragon. After all, as far as I'm aware, Tarragon isn't an abusive asshole in real life, and of course hasn't abused the YouTube copyright system, so I can at least give him that one up. But in terms of raw, just brazen stupidity, it's basically up to a coin flip. Do you like Protexist? Again, why are you asking me about people that I literally have never heard of in my entire life? Then again, I guess you wouldn't really expect me to not know who they are, I'm assuming, or maybe you just don't know that I don't know. I have absolutely no idea, I just know. I don't know who these people are. Are they, like, controversial figures or something? Or are they, like, actual decent people that I could get some pointers from? I don't fucking know who these people are. Please enlighten me. And then finally, who is your least favorite commentary channel? If I had to give it to one, I would have to give it to Optimus. Either that or Lyrics. I don't know. Either one of them are just blatantly fucking stupid at this point. And now we move on to the Discord questions, where most of my questions were asked. First question, why are you so attractive? I don't know, man, you fucking tell me. This is a question more suited for my boyfriend, and I don't even know how he would answer this, because I look like I chose a fucking preset when I was born, so I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Next question here comes from Thunderstruck, funnily enough. And, well, he actually has quite a number of questions going forward here from the server, so expect him to pop up pretty frequently along with, like, a few other people. So, Thunderstruck has a question here, which is, what are the 16 digits on your mom's credit card, the 3 numbers? What are some games that you like that everyone else hates, or games that you hate that everyone else likes? Funnily enough, I can answer both of those questions right there for you. In terms of games that I enjoyed that everyone else either despises or just generally doesn't really enjoy as much as I do, I'd have to... It's almost like a tie between the original Half-Life and No Man's Sky. And the thing is that I can understand the criticisms with both of these games. With the original Half-Life, the physics are extremely wonky, the combat is a bit slow and sluggish at times, the latter portion of the game, namely Zen, absolutely fucking sucks, and even I can agree with that. And when it comes to No Man's Sky, of course it's rocky start, and of course, in terms of its combat, it's not really primarily combat-focused, which can sometimes turn some people off. But the thing is that I can enjoy both of these games regardless of these. At least I can at least have some explanations behind some of these criticisms and why I can look past them. When it comes to the original Half-Life, I can at least understand the janky physics and the slow and sluggish combat, as it was obviously made during like the 90s and whatnot, and obviously back then Half-Life was pretty revolutionary for its time, so I can at least kind of look past that, as that's kind of part of the charm of the game, although even I can kind of get a little bit tired out by some of the combat in the game. And when it comes to No Man's Sky, well, rush delivery was mainly because of Sony, so you kind of know who to blame for why No Man's Sky came out half-baked, but when it comes to how it is now, I can at least look past a lot of it and just kind of go like, well, they've redeemed themselves in my eyes. They didn't just take the money and run like a lot of these fucking Kickstarter scams nowadays. Like, have you seen the amount of really stupid people just scamming people when it comes to video games? I mean, just take a look at Grums for an example. Apparently he's currently trying to do a scam as of right now, while trying to shit-talk Helldivers 2. Yeah, funny how that works, huh? I'll probably have a video about that in the coming days here. But in terms of games that I just genuinely don't like for one reason or another, that a lot of my friends seem to enjoy, it'd have to go to Destiny 2. I can understand why people can get suckered into that game, but let's put it this way, the main reason why I don't like Destiny 2 is because it's currently run by New Bungie. And if you've heard anything about New Bungie, then you know that they have stopped giving a fuck about their actual quality of their product. They are willing to ship out half-baked fucking products at this goddamn point, and we have fan cucks over here basically sucking the schlong dry at this point. Like, even people who were fans of Destiny 2 are jumping ship. That should be alarming people. Up next, we have Skybiscuit asking me, when did you first become a tester for Shadows of Baden? Well, I can answer both when and how, because both of them are kind of interesting. I'll answer how first, and it all started with one particular video from... Actually, how long ago was it? It's from a video from about 5 years ago as of right now. Well, technically 2 videos from 5 years ago, and it is, of course, this video, all 4 post-Moonlord Sacred Tools bosses at once, back when the mod was still called Sacred Tools and before it gained its new name. And of course, with both of these videos, it was both a challenge for me, as well as a challenge for my computer back then, because back then, my computer was about as powerful as an average brick that has been soaked in the sun for about a week, and has cracked due to the pressure. It was a terrible fucking computer, and it would even blue screen when playing fucking Roblox, if that gives you any idea as to just how bad it was. And somehow I was able to make both of these videos, and oddly enough they ended up gaining the attention of Dan fucking Yami of all people, in which, well, in the first video he pointed out that I was using items from other mods, and then I did the rematch video in order to kind of rectify that by using items primarily from, well, the SOA mod. And at some point down the line I ended up discovering the Discord server. Dan at some point gave me the cool person role, and with the only explanation being, you're a cool person, and that's really about it. And then at some point during the development of the current public beta, he was looking for more testers, as the current testers were busy with, like, other life things at the time, so he just kind of needed some more active testers to kind of, you know, see if there were any kind of, like, hiccups when it came to the mod. Funnily enough, I ended up filling out the application form, and I ended up finding a couple of pretty massive ones when it came to Nihilist really early on, so... yeah, Thunderstruck comes in once again asking, why is it better to play Ultra Kill with the gun on the left side? Well, I mean, I think it's just up to preference, but the main reason why I did it was because I thought it would have been funny to do so, and now I just cannot play the game the same anymore. So Eric comes in again with yet another question, which is, when will you play Fear and Hunger? I probably will never play it on this channel, considering what I've heard about the game. Obviously, there are some much braver souls than I am on YouTube that I've surprisingly enough come across on my YouTube recommendations page, but for the life of me, it's gonna be a bit before I even bother to touch Fear and Hunger, considering what the fuck I've heard about the game. But hey, it at least has more gameplay than Scorn, so I'll give it that. Here we have one of the few genuine questions that I have right here, coming from Jack, asking, originally you started posting stuff on YouTube for fun, but what was the reason you started to take it more seriously, like a full-blown hobby, to the point of making a Discord group and starting to live stream to talk with your audience? Well, one would think that it would have been the point where I actually gained a fucking, like, certificate in digital film and video production, but funnily enough, that wasn't the point at which I decided to turn this into more of a full-blown hobby. The point at which I decided to turn this into a full-blown hobby was when people such as Road Breach, Brother Near, fucking Psychonaut Therapy, Thunderstruck, and fucking Rinse ended up somehow taking notice of me and for some reason taking me seriously. It was at that point where I was like, well, shit, the big dogs have noticed me now, and now I'm suddenly in their inner circles, so I might as well at least try to turn this into something a bit more serious, and, well, lo and behold, here I am now. And of course, me reaching 1,000 subs has also kind of helped with that, so thank you guys very much for the support. But when it comes to the live stream things, the live streams, funnily enough, were completely unrelated to me even starting to take this seriously. I just decided to start live streaming just for the fuck of it, and for some reason, I've just started to have a lot of fun doing that, so yeah, there you go. There's that answer for you. Thunderstruck comes in again, asking, who would you say is the absolute dumbest person you've covered on this channel? Well, without naming some of the obvious ones, such as, well, Harmon Smith, Tarragon, and Quantum TV, I'd have to give it at least a tie between the guy who tried to equate the word tarnished to being equivalent to the N-word, and the guy who tried to claim that fucking Hi-Fi Rush was satanic because the main character had a lightning bolt on his shirt. Cam over here asks yet another genuine question, which is, if you could go back in time and change one thing in your life, what would it be and why? Well, this is one that I actually had to sit down and think about for a while because, well, this is kind of question that's always kind of stumped me. These kinds of questions of, would you go back in time and change anything, or would you change anything about yourself now? And the thing is I probably wouldn't really change anything, because honestly, who knows? If I were to change anything in the past, I probably wouldn't be where I am now. I probably wouldn't have a boyfriend now, I probably wouldn't have nearly as many real-life and online friends as I do right now, I probably wouldn't have this YouTube channel, or at least it wouldn't be in the same state as it is right now, and honestly, despite the fact that even though I live in fucking Florida of all places, and it sucks to live here, and there's a lot of hardships that come with it, and I'm still trying to hunt for a second job, I probably wouldn't change a thing. So I guess in the words of the great Sisyphus Prime, I'd have to say I don't regret a second of it, and I wouldn't change anything. Thunderstruck comes in again and asks 3 questions. First is, what hobbies do you have besides gaming on YouTube? Well, I do some art on the side here and there, and I'm trying to improve on that front even today. I've been doing that for like the past 7 or so years, so I've been doing it for quite some time. And another thing that I've started to pick up as of recently is some photography. If I even remember to do so, I'll probably take a picture of like some of these old photograph books that my late grandmother used to make of like a lot of the photographs that I would give her, because she ended up giving me like this old camera back in the day, and hell, I even have like a motivational poster in my room that quite literally has like a picture of the sky that I took. Like, honestly, I was a surprisingly good photographer even for my younger years, and honestly, I would like to kind of pick something like that back up again at some point, considering the fact that I've been taking walks outside a lot more often, and I've been taking pictures of like the sunrise and the sunset and whatnot, and obviously even though I'm surrounded by a bunch of industrial bullshit, I mean, it still looks nice, and, you know, I wouldn't mind picking that shit back up again, so why in the hell not? What's a game that you really want a sequel for, even though you know it'll never happen? As someone that has just recently finished Half-Life 2 Episode 2, it has to be Half-Life. I know that they will never make a Half-Life 3 or an Episode 3, and I don't know why.
You can't just leave us on a fucking cliffhanger like that, Valve! Please, for the love of God, remember that your series exists. I know that you do because you made Half-Life fucking Alex. Please, for the love of God, finish!
Who would you say is more stupid, Jim Sterling or Synthetic Man? That's a bit of a tougher one, because they're honestly just, the main differences between the two are the political spectrum and just how loud and proud they are in terms of just how dumb they are. In all honesty, I'd have to give it to Synthetic Man, because at least Jim Sterling doesn't try to say the quiet part out loud, and Jim Sterling actually used to be a relatively well-respected individual within their field, at least at some point during their career, until they ended up falling down some sort of rabbit hole or whatever, and ended up coming out and falling off very heavily. My friend V over here asks, what's your favorite element? Are we talking about, like, ancient elements, or are we talking about the elements of the periodic table? Fuck it, I'll answer both. In terms of the periodic table, I'd have to give it to radium, because that shit is terrifying, but I also really like how it glows.
Is this little box. Whatever's in here is extremely radioactive, and it's worse than when I tested nearly pure uranium. They've all been covered with a paint containing radium, which is an extremely radioactive element.
And, in terms of, I guess, more primal elements, if you want to call it that, water. I don't know. I kind of relate to it. I like to go with the flow of life more than anything, rather than try to set any specific goals for myself at the end of the day. And of course, well, water gives us life, so why wouldn't you be a fan of it? Some kid asks, is the cure to male loneliness hunting cryptids in the woods with the boys?
I don't know, man. You fucking tell me.
Some kid comes in again and asks, will you ever do an IRL cooking stream? I don't think I will, considering that I have to try and regain everything that I forgot when it comes to cooking. I've had to deal with cooking paralysis for like the past 3 or 4 years because my culinary class in high school absolutely fucking sucked. Game Penguin asks, which are worse, hardcore fanboys or ragebait channels? Ragebait channels without a fucking doubt. At least hardcore fanboys actually believe in what they're actually trying to preach here. With ragebait channels, they're just literally trying to do anything in order to try and get attention. They're basically just fucking attention whores, and those kinds of people genuinely suck. Sure, I talk about them every once in a while, even though it's obvious fucking ragebait, but I mainly do it so that way nobody else has to. Where'd you get the idea behind the channel name? And also an image of your ferrets, if I can ask. Oh, I can do you one better when it comes to that second part. Give me a minute.
Hi. Hi. This is Lagata. She's our little baby.
Look at her. Look at her. Okay, I think she just wants to run around now because she hasn't been in this room at all.
Yes, you don't get to be in this room that often, do you? No, you don't, because you would tear up the cables. You would tear up the cables, yes, you would chew on the cables like they're spaghetti.
And now for the actual question, which is, of course, well, the idea behind the channel name. Well, it all started when I had a character that had the name Sanity, and I just kind of went from there. In fact, for the real OGs, you guys probably remember my very old YouTube channel icon literally just being a picture of Nico, but with an edited blue eye, and that was literally it. And that was before I had the Halls image for the longest time for my channel icon, and then I ended up actually, for some reason, getting fan art, so yeah, I'll explain more when it comes to the Plague Doctor stuff later, because someone else actually asked a question about that. Speaking of which, Action Pixels comes in and asks, why did you choose the Plague Doctor mask of all things? I like it, but it's something that's not seen that often. Well, funnily enough, it's an old mask that, actually, hang on, I think I have it here somewhere. Where the fuck is it?
Funny thing is that this mask, way back in the day, the first time I ever actually showed my face was within yet another video. Hang on. Yes. This video from about 4 years ago was the first time I ever did any kind of, I guess, technically face cam video. It was this video, the greatest music video of the century. And the thing is I didn't want to reveal my face back then, but I wanted to do a face cam video so that way I could articulate a little bit better. So, I thought of an idea. I just grabbed a random hoodie that I had, and I grabbed a random mask, which just so happened to be this one, which I used for a Halloween costume before filming that video. And also, a little bit of interesting trivia, I don't know if the camera will focus on that. You can see that there's a crack in there. That's from when I accidentally broke this thing in half, and I just crazy glued it back together, so yeah, there you go. It's literally being held together with glue, so there you go. This thing has been through the fucking trenches in order to be used in videos.
Amalgamated Beast comes in and asks, what do you add first, milk or cereal? Cereal first. Any other way is pure heresy. Since you stream Undertale Yellow, do you plan to stream more fan-made games? Probably. If there's any more good, free fan-made games, then I wouldn't mind hearing about them. If you guys have any recommendations, please be sure to hit me up. I honestly would like to play some of them. After all, Undertale Yellow is pretty good so far. Neil comes in and asks, why do ferrets have no bones? I don't know, let me quickly ask one.
This is Ragnar. Say hi, Ragnar. Say hi.
Anyways, the people have a question. Ragnar, why do you have no bones?
朋友是一个坚韧不拔的纪录片，在香港这座城市的摄制，主演钱德勒。
Ah, I see. Yeah, he doesn't want to say anything.
Up next is Warren asking me, what would you consider to be the most impactful moment of your life so far? Again, that's a bit of a tough one. Obviously, most people would probably default to, like, saying, like, the passing of, like, a family member, and while I will, in fact, say that that was, in fact, very impactful, I would kind of want to counter that with my experiences with my grandma, okay? My late grandmother. She was honestly the kind of person that really, like... She was, like, at that specific age where she, like, somehow somehow managed to get everything together, right? And this was back during the days, and she was a wonderful person. I will in fact say that. Honestly, just how she handled life and how she treated me was honestly the main thing that kind of caused me to grow up how I am, in just kind of like this state of wanting to just kind of go with the flow of things, while also just kind of, you know, being up enough for me to actually want to voice some opinions here and there. She was just one of those kinds of people that really formed how I am today, and you can thank her for that. Azul asks, how do you speak to women?
I don't fucking know. Why are you asking me? I am literally in a relationship with a dude. So why are you asking me about advice about women?
Amalgamated comes back in and asks, what's a weird fact that you know about ferrets? Well, I can give you a few of them, but just give me one more second here.
So I can give you a few interesting facts about ferrets, but let me just introduce you to the last little member of the business here, which is Rolo. Focus camera. I don't think the camera wants to focus on him. Unlucky. But let me give you a few interesting facts that I know about. First of all, well, a group of ferrets is called a business, so there you go. Second things, their thumbs are actually almost opposable, like they can actually grab onto my finger here, so they almost have human hands, which is kind of a terrifying thought. Third thing, their ribs are squishy and you're hiccuping. And finally, apparently one of the Olympic Games, I don't remember which one it was, or like some sort of event, actually used ferrets in order to run cables through pipes. But that was very quickly discontinued because these little bastards would keep on falling asleep halfway through transferring wires. So, okay, yep, okay, he's being extra lovey. I know, you probably just want to run around, don't you?
But yeah, there you go. There's your interesting ferret facts right there. Next question comes from Josh the Husk. Are you in or are you skin? What the fuck does this even mean? Next question is another one from Jack, which is how do you manage to keep up with life stuff, work, and YouTube at the same time? What kind of tricks of time management do you use for that? Well, I usually kind of like try to set alarms for like certain things, like, you know, for my medicine and whatnot, or just kind of like making sure to actually check whether or not I even have work today. I usually just kind of have alarms like set for that, and at this point, since I've done that, it's just kind of been ingrained into my head to just like do things at a specific time anyways, without even the need for an alarm. So yeah, that's kind of how I did it for a while. I know it doesn't really work for everyone, but hey, it works for some people, so it's the only advice that I can give. And then the final question here from Jack asks, in a scenario of you becoming a very popular YouTuber, who would you consider collabing with if they would 100% agree to the offer? I actually genuinely have no idea, considering that I'm in like so many different, like, I guess, niches, if you will. Like, I do gaming commentary, I do just regular gaming videos, I do gaming live streams, I do a whole bunch of different shit on this channel, even just like make random memes. I'd say that probably the only person that I would really consider collabing with that kind of does a similar thing is probably Critical, funnily enough. I mean, we both live in the same state, funnily enough, and if he would really even have me on a video, I wouldn't mind, because he seems like a relatively chill guy to just kind of hang out with at the end of the day. Like, even though he's a big channel, he's relatively down to earth at the end of the day, and that's someone that I can very easily get behind, so I wouldn't mind collaborating with him. But that, for right now, is pretty much all the questions that I've been given, and honestly, I am very impressed by a lot of people's questions. A lot of them had me thinking a lot of them were pretty silly, which is to be expected with my audience, and some of them were kind of somewhere in between. Honestly, I really enjoy you guys. You guys are absolutely fantastic. You guys helped this channel become what it is today, and I honestly wouldn't be anywhere if it weren't for you guys. And of course, having you guys be so interested as to even ask questions that you want to hear from me is just... I really enjoy that, so thank you. From the very depths of whatever soul I still have left, thank you very much. And yeah, anyways guys, If you guys enjoyed today's video, please consider leaving a like. That's very well appreciated. Leave a comment down below what you thought about the video, what you want me to talk about next, and also subscribe to the channel if you're new and you want to see more content such as this. Also, go ahead and follow me on Twitter, join the Discord server, you get the point, and yeah. Anyways, guys, this has been Sandy, and have yourselves a nice day.